My friends, I'm Pastor Ben Hayes from First Baptist Church, Dadeville, Alabama, bringing you our thought for the day on this Thursday morning. It is Wednesday night for me. I'm recording this before I have to get up early in the morning and head to my conference. Having a great time with a bunch of great law enforcement officers. God is just blessing so many ways as we join together, studying how we can better support our law enforcement guys through traumatic events. And so I'm grateful for the opportunity to do this. I am sharing this with you from Calera, Alabama, my daughter's guest room. And so I'm having a great time getting to see them in the evenings as well. If you have your Bibles, join me in James chapter 5 as we bring to a close this wonderful book of James in the next couple of weeks. And we got a couple of great passages we're going to deal with. One is we pick up in verse 12 of chapter 5. James says, but above all. Now, I did some in-depth research into that phrase, above all. You know what it means? It means above all. It's this is important stuff. He's saying, I want you to pay attention to this. This is important. He says, but above all, my brethren, do not swear either by heaven or by earth or with any other oath, but let your yes be yes and your no, no, lest you fall into judgment. You know what he's saying here? He's saying you need to be such an honest person, such a person of integrity, that you don't have to swear by anything. You don't have to swear on your mama's grave. You don't have to swear on the Bible. You can just say, this is the way it's going to be. This is what I believe. Yes, I'm going to be there. Yes, I'm going to do that. Remember the old days when guys would seal a deal with a handshake? And that was all it took, because your word was as good as your bond. Didn't have to do all this contract stuff. If you said you were going to do something, you did it. That's the way we ought to be these days. We're living in a world that, where people lack integrity. Had a good conversation with some Presbyterian folks this evening as I got to go to church at Evangel Presbyterian here in Alabaster with my daughter and her husband, and just had a great time with those folks. But we were talking about the fact that pastors just aren't respected like they used to be. We used to be number one or two on the list of people that you could trust. Now we're down to, 9 or 10 in some polls. Some it's even farther than that. But you know what? We deserve that. There have been so many moral failings in our world, in our country. Pastors who were not doing what they ought to do, doing things that they shouldn't be doing. It's no wonder that people stop trusting pastors. And then on top of that, we got pastors who weren't paying their bills. We got pastors who were who would say, I'm going to do this, but they never do it. Well, here's the truth. Pastors are held to a higher level of accountability, but all believers are commanded by James to let your yes be yes and your no, no. Now look at how he ends this. Lest you fall into judgment. Now, he's not talking about losing your salvation. He's talking about the fact that, we're going to reap what we sow. We're going to experience the judgment of God. The Bible tells us that all of our works are going to be judged as if by fire. And this is what he's talking about here. When we do the right things for the right reasons, in the right way, with the right motivation, for the right purpose, for the glory of God, then all of that when it's tried by fire is going to last. But everything else is going to be burned away if we don't do it for the right reason. And I got to tell you, I have to imagine that it's going to be awfully hard standing before God and having to answer for those kinds of things that we do or we don't do when we aren't willing to let our yes be yes and our no be no. But you know what? I want you to think about this today. I want you to think about ways that you can increase people's understanding, perception of your integrity. Are there things that you need to do, things that you need to change, ways that you need to act, ways that you need to stop acting so that people will know, hey, this person, I can trust them. I want you to think about that today. And understand, we'll be back here tomorrow. I'll be home tomorrow night, Thursday night. Be at the softball game, I think. And we're just going to have a great time together there as well. But be blessed, and I will see you soon.